Hi everyone, we're delighted to join you today from Borgo Ignazia on the 15th of June, day 3 of the G7 summit. It was really a packed, intense 2 days with lots of things happening, not only regarding the traditional remit of the G7 summit, which is mostly, economics, finance, industry, but this year the G7 summit took a definitely geopolitical, geoeconomic aftertaste with the traditional barrier or frontier separating on the one hand the world of finance and the economy, and on the other hand the world of geopolitics. That traditional frontier really disappearing this year in Borgo Ignazia at the G7 summit. And we saw discussions, intense discussions, all day long and sometimes deep into the night in the past 2 days, focusing on the most burning issues at hand. Of course, there is the Russian-Ukraine war, there is the Israel-Gaza situation. There are lots of issues, lots of macroeconomic, industrial issues which were discussed. One of them, perhaps, to me personally, the most important one is the Sino-American rivalry, the idea that industrial and economic race pitting Washington against Beijing is accelerating across sectors. And we saw clearly an attempt from the part of President Biden to bring Japan, Canada, and Europe on his side in that quote-unquote new Cold War. But so far, it has been mostly verbal in terms of that rivalry with China, a few jacking up of import duties on electric vehicles, but nothing major. So it is brewing, it's getting tense, but nothing major happened on that front here at the G7 summit. One thing which was really fascinating is to see from the part of all policymakers the notion that really private sector investment in modern infrastructure, that is moving center stage. And as you all know, it's an issue near to my heart, and we saw private sector leaders, including Larry Fink of BlackRock, deliver great speeches around that issue, encouraging steering more capital from pension funds, insurance companies, retail savers into modern, productive infrastructure assets. It's all happening at the same time, so I think one could say it's a pivotal moment in the economic history of Europe and America. I was delighted to be here. I would like to thank the Italian authorities. I think the government of Prime Minister Meloni did a wonderful job organizing impeccably those G7 meetings, and of course the sidelines, the meetings on the sidelines of, which are often as fascinating as the G7 summit itself. That's all for me. Thank you very much, and see you next year at the 2025 G7. A bientôt. Ciao a tutti.